I first found out about the foundation when I got my BRCA1 cancer gene mutation results in 2005. So I was automatically referred here by my genetics counselor to have them screen me and guide me and watch me for a number of years. Having just taking care of me and having watching and booking my mammograms and my ultrasounds, my MRIs, my blood tests, anything that was breast cancer or ovarian cancer screening related. They looked after me for about 6 years, and until a routine breast MRI came back wonky, and I had to come back in, and they said there's a little line that's on your left, that's under your left nipple. It wasn't there on the last MRI. We need to have this checked out. 2 months later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I did come here. I was on a Monday after lunch. They called me and said, Dr. Taylor can come see you. Your results are in, come right now. And so I immediately threw my boys in the car with me and came down. And Dr. Taylor just said to me, your test results have come back, and it turns out that you have early stage breast cancer. And she put down her pen and she said, let me give you a hug. That was the first thing she did. And so we kind of cried together. And so that was from the moment of my diagnosis, her being there with me. And I remember my little boys were with me in the room, and my oldest son came over to me and said, Mommy, do you want to play dinosaurs with me? And I just, said, Mommy's kind of busy right now. She's talking to her doctor, and then afterwards we went downstairs and got chocolate, right? Yeah. The foundation has supported me even, for years before my diagnosis, right? So leading up to all that screening that I had to do, being that I had the BRCA gene. So it was, constantly educating me and letting me know that this is upcoming and this is maybe what you should be doing. You should be thinking of maybe having a prophylactic bilateral mastectomy, or you should be thinking of having a prophylactic oophorectomy. So support through there that just kind of getting the bug in my ear so that when I did eventually develop breast cancer and I was advised to have a bilateral mastectomy, I wasn't in complete shock. I was prepared for it.
Right.
So that really supported me. That really helped me, just the education of it.
You're so sweet. It makes it authentic.
So that was a thing that it was ever since, knowing that I had that BRCA gene mutation, and they understood me.
Right.
A lot of sometimes your doctors may not get the whole BRCA gene, and so they knew that my risks were very, very high. And then it was when I subsequently developed breast cancer, they were there for me. So then it was Dr. Taylor supporting me and referring me to one of the best breast surgeons in the world, Dr. René Lafreniere, who was the man that saved my life. And about 3 weeks later, I had the bilateral mastectomy and never looked back. Right? I knew that was the right thing to do for my for my situation. So and then just with any questions that I had about the reconstruction or the mastectomy, they were there for me. They were there for me. I'm almost 2 years since my diagnosis, and I'm still only now kind of realizing the impact that it had on other people. Because when you get diagnosed with breast cancer, I went into just warrior survival mode, right? It was all, and I was numb to everybody around me. I was numb to their feelings. It was about, I need to survive this and that's that. So it's only coming up to me, now that people will sit there and say to me, when you got diagnosed, I was devastated. I was really, really scared. And they never said these things to me then. 15, 18 months later, they'll sit and we'll have a conversation over a bottle of wine, and they'll cry to me and say, I was so terrified for you, and I didn't know what to say, I didn't know what to do, and you just went through it like a champ, but it affected everybody around me, and it scared the hell out of them, right? So I think them not talking to me about that was a good thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to, I didn't want to hear that, because you don't want to hear anything negative.
Right.
But it greatly impacted the people around me. I know my mom, it was very, very, very hard on her, because she was also the one that took care of me right after my surgery and helped shower me and help me with my bandages because I didn't want my husband to see me initially. I didn't want him to have to look at my scars, and so it was really, really hard on them. Really hard on them. You know, and then also for me, being that, like when I got diagnosed at stage 0. Right. I was diagnosed very, very early because the screening that they had done for me here was effective. It did what it was supposed to do, and so then I had my bilateral, and you know, a couple weeks later I was deemed cancer free, and then I was back. I got this, guys. I don't need anything from you. I don't need your support. I'm fine. And they were just all kind of a little bit in shock of what had happened, and then I just moved on with my life because I was able to just move on with my life. Right. So yeah, no, but it was very, very hard. Very, very hard on me.
Yeah, because you're trying to look after yourself, and nobody knows what to say because they don't want to feel like you have to look after them too, right?
Yeah, and it was hard for that because it was like, you know, no, guys, I'm fine. I'm going to beat this. I got this. Why are you such a mess? You know, like it was really hard. It was really hard for me to sit and deal with that because it's like, you know, I'm fine. I just had my breasts cut off, and you're crying. What, like, you know, I'm very thankful for the foundation. I know that it's a one of a kind in Canada. I know that it benefited me, you know, for those 6 years leading up to my diagnosis. And I refer tons of people that I do meet, any new young breast cancer survivors that I meet. I let them know about it, or anyone that's got the BRCA gene. I tell them you can come here and they will help you with, and they will take care of all that screening for you, so you don't have to, because that's just too much stuff to remember and have to deal with. Yeah, so I'm not. I had my last appointment here last year, and they kind of just said, well, you don't have breasts anymore, you don't have ovaries anymore. You don't really need to be here anymore. So it was a very sad day when I walked out and just went, you know, I don't have to be here anymore, right? So I come from small town Saskatchewan, from Melfort, Saskatchewan. Well, I used to own a pizza place there when I was 18 years old. When I was 17, 18 years old, I had a pizza place called Jeff's Pizza. So I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I love that. And then ever since my breast cancer diagnosis, I took up running. So I just recently finished my first marathon. So I'm a marathoner now. I'm a marathoner now. So we love to go to the playgrounds. We love to swim. What else do we like to do, Logan?
Play on the iPhone.
Yeah, you know, just whatever we do, as long as we're together, it's all fun. And you know, I'm grateful for every day that I have. I'm grateful for every day that I have with them. And so yeah, whatever we do, we like to vacation in Florida and go to the beach and go down to the pool. Awesome. Too, and it's just, we always sit and talk about, we don't dwell on the fact of why did we get diagnosed? Right. You know, why do we get this disease? Because we will never know the answer to that, really. But we do always sit and tell each other that that there's a reason that we're all still here. Right. We just don't know what that really is yet. But so influential.